Okay.
It's like we're gonna do a regular update.
Yeah. That's right.
Mr. Hudson?
Good evening. I'll call the order Public Safety Committee for August the 20th, 2006. 2026. I got that one right. I got a mistake on my page. That one right.
Listen, I'm willing to go back.
The first item on the agenda is an ordinance rezoning the property address as 1937 Durant Avenue.
Minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. The minutes from July the 16th, Public Safety Committee. Thank you, Rhonda.
Move for approval.
Moving second. Any question from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next item is an ordinance rezoning the property address as 4937 Durant Avenue, Charleston County, TMS 7115000076. From R1 Single Family Residence to B1 Limited Business Council District 10. Are you on the wall? Is it on the wall?
I'm sorry.
It's over there.
Which one you want?
Hold on, something.
You want all of them?
Yeah.
Keep going on. Alright, there we
It's
go.
not a date night.
We can do them now.
Move for denial.
Move for denial on that. I know we have some applicants that's there to speak on this, and quite a bit that's there. I think it's Mr. Walter Strauss.
Thank you for being here. I live at 1170 Park Place North, around the corner from said property. I am very concerned that this property would be rezoned to a business zoning in a strictly residential area. I understand that they want to build a fellowship hall. I believe that there should be other avenues that are available through the normal channels for variance as opposed to a complete rezoning. This is a non-conforming use in a residential neighborhood. There are no other businesses on that section of Durant Avenue, and it should remain that way. The houses are very close together. It's not like the other end of Durant where there's always been businesses. I've been coming up here since I was born in 1966. My grandparents lived on what was then Laurel Street, which is now Bexley Street. So I'm very familiar with what the businesses have been on that section of the road, but this section of the road has never been business oriented, and it should not be zoned as business today. That being said, if the only avenue that you have is to rezone this so that they can build their fellowship hall, I would urge you to immediately, as soon as that fellowship hall is built, to rezone it back to the zoning that it has today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Clem Arsenal. Could you please state your name, address for the records?
Thank you again for being here. My name is Clem Arsenault. I live at 1190 Park Place North, just the street this side of all the action. I'm a certified general real estate appraiser with over a 30-year career of appraising commercial properties. So I well understand zoning ordinances. Just because some people in Reggie, I don't know if you were aware, but many years ago, to assist the efforts of Gail and Joel Frampton, I led the Safe Park Circle Coalition that successfully convinced the city of North Charleston to abandon the Noisette plan that recommended reducing the size of the circle by about 2/3 and then building commercial properties on the surrounding grass, park circle beltways. So in this case, the church is reportedly asking for a variance or possibly asking for a rezone from residential zoning to commercial zoning to accommodate the request to build a fellowship hall, which would ease their existing food distribution program. I want to make clear that myself and the other 35 petitioners that signed are not against the fellowship hall and reducing the setback requirement for building. We are simply asking that you approve the request for the fellowship hall and reduce building setback line by use of a zoning variance or special exception, which under our interpretation of the zoning ordinance is allowed under the church's R1 residential zoning. We respectfully assert that the city planning department's preliminary recommendation to accommodate the church's request for the reduced setback line for a new fellowship hall exclusively by use of a zoning change from R1 to B1 commercial is based on a very narrow and dogmatic interpretation of the current zoning regulations. Technically speaking, and this is really important, the church's request for a reduced setback line is merely asking for a change in the dimension or the locational construction on their property. Therefore, their request for the reduced setback line to accommodate a new fellowship hall does not constitute a change in use, such as changing the church use to a commercial use. Consequently, consistent with the existing R1 zoning regulations and the church's conditional use status, the church's request to reduce the construction setback line to accommodate their newly conceived fellowship hall falls within the tools of the existing zoning regulations, which allows approval by use of a variance or special exception approval. We respectfully disagree with the city's planning department's conclusion cited in the July 13th, 2026 minute meetings that stated, quote, limited business zoning at this site would be consistent with both the established neighborhood character and the intent of the land use designation, close quote. To the contrary, B1 commercial zoning allows future uses such as grocery stores, convenience stores, offices, and a host of uses, including restaurants serving alcohol, that would be intrusive and negatively impact the peace and safety of the adjacent residential property. By viewing the present zoning map, you will note that the subject church, North Charleston Elementary School, and hundreds of acres of adjacent residential homes are all colored yellow to designate the R1 residential zoning on the city's zoning map, needlessly approving a commercial zoning designation in rezoning from residential to needlessly approving a commercial zoning designation in nearly the middle of this historic residential neighborhood will unnecessarily invite future requests for rezoning from residential to commercial zoning. This seemingly innocuous act sets the stage for politically influenced spot zoning, including litigation or inviting litigation, when others jump on board with self-serving agendas requiring a zoning change at the expense of the adjacent property owners in the general neighborhood. When a zoning variance or special exception can legally facilitate a property owner's request, such as the church's request for a reduction in the setback line for a fellowship hall, then approving a change to commercial zoning sets an extremely bad precedent. So that's the technical side of me reading your regulations, stating what I can, trying to knock this out quickly for it. But I would be glad if there's sit-down consultation or anything like that, go through the regulations with your planning director.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yep. Ms. Tammy Arson.
Mayor Burgess and City Council members, I'm Tammy Arsenault and I live at 1190 Park Place North. I'm president of the Northeast Park Circle Neighborhood Association. I'm here tonight to respectfully ask you to deny the request for the 4937 Durant Avenue R1 single family residential to B1 limited business. I want to say that we really support this church, its ministry, and its continued presence in our neighborhood. Our concern is not the church. Our concern is permanently changing the zoning of this particular property from residential to business. We're a residential neighborhood and we're zoned residential. If you look at the zoning map, the heart of Park Circle, I gave you a zoning map in there. The part of Park Circle that is all yellow is overwhelmingly R1 single-family residential, including properties with churches, schools, recreational facilities that are all allowed within the R1 district. The city's own planning description states that this portion of Durant Avenue is primarily zoned R1 single-family residential, consistent with the established residential character of the neighborhood. This accurately describes what the homeowners see every day. 4937 Durant Avenue is a small, approximately 1/3 acre parcel surrounded by R1 residential zoning. It's not located on an established commercial corridor. It is located on a neighborhood street surrounded by homes. B1 limited business zoning uses can bring secondary effects of commercial activity like traffic, parking, deliveries, exterior lighting, noise, business activity, and music until 10 o'clock at night. Those impacts are much easier to accommodate along an established commercial corridor than on a small parcel in the middle of a residential neighborhood. Traffic and pedestrian safety is already a concern on Durant Avenue, northeast of Park Circle. The narrow 2-lane neighborhood street was designed primarily for residential traffic. Everyday children, families, and residents walk, run, walk their dogs, ride bicycles, skateboard, and use golf carts throughout the neighborhood. Traffic calming has already been necessary. Speed humps have been installed in the area to slow traffic and improve safety near the elementary school and throughout the neighborhood. Durant Avenue also crosses railroad tracks at a crossing without protective arms, where drivers must stop. These are the characteristics of a residential neighborhood, not an established commercial corridor. The city's previous decisions also provide some important context. When 4621 Durant Avenue needed a B1 rezoning, the city's analysis that introduced commercial use to a cohesive residential block would be out of character with the surrounding land uses. That applies here. 4937 Durant is located within a cohesive residential area on a narrow neighborhood street and is surrounded by R1 zoning. When 1657 East Montague wanted B1 zoning, staff noted that B1 zoning could introduce a greater volume of commercial activity to a mostly residential portion of a neighborhood. If introducing commercial activity to a mostly residential area is a concern, in that case, the same principle should be applied consistently here. 4937 Durant is inside an established residential neighborhood and not along an established commercial corridor. 36 homeowners who own property and live near the church and support the church in its role for community have signed a petition to oppose permanently changing this property to B1 limited business. I want to briefly address a petition presented to planning at their planning hearing. The petition was presented to support a rezoning. However, the language stated that the signers were supporting a setback variance and to allow them to build a fellowship hall. A setback variance and a permanent rezoning from R1 to B1 are two very different things. It is about whether a small residential property located in the center of a R1 zone neighborhood should be chosen to selectively and permanently change the character of the neighborhood. B1 limited business zoning is inappropriate for this small property on a narrow street surrounded by R1 single-family residential zoning. R1 is the appropriate zoning for 4937 Durant, and maintaining R1 zoning protects the established residential character of Northeast Park Circle while still allowing the church to remain an important part of our community. I respectfully ask that you deny the rezoning to B1, and I thank you for your time and consideration for listening to the homeowners. Thank you.
I got about 5 more people on this slate for number 2, which is rezoning. We've heard from three. I don't know if you guys want to continue, or was there someone from the community who's in favor?
It's recommended for denial.
Yes, okay. Know that. Is the applicant here? Here?
I'm not the applicant. I'll speak.
Reason why I ask you is, I know you're not here to speak, are you? Did you sign up to speak?
Sorry, I didn't.
The reason why I ask is, I think right now the way it's positioned for denial. I know the communities wanna somehow make sure that it happens in favor of the church. But is there any way that you possibly could come back and bring that plans that you have with our zoning department and touch base with them and just see if any other way you could possibly work it, because what I'm hearing right now.
The gentleman here, he presented another way that we can do it, so yes, I'd like to meet with you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
didn't we, it's been a couple of years ago, but didn't we grant a variance for the church on Northwoods Boulevard and ease the setbacks for them? Is it not a similar situation? Do y'all remember that from somebody from planning? Cause they changed the ordinance so they could, or they didn't change the zoning, but they
Right.
allowed less of a setback in order for the church to do their expansion there on Northwoods Boulevard. Is that different than, what's the difference between that situation and this situation?
So it is a little bit different. So the reason that the rezoning is being requested is that there's a 25-foot setback as a condition to the church as a use in residential. And so the rezoning was requested to B1 to alleviate that additional setback. The B1 would allow a 10-foot setback. The church on Northwoods, we did a text amendment to allow that reduced setback to 10 feet if the property was adjacent to commercial. So that is adjacent to the power lines there. So this property is not adjacent to commercial, so that would not apply.
Andrew, are you willing to, someone else had? Are you willing to meet with her and see what possible could be done?
Sure, of course, yeah, we can
Going forward.
look over the plans together. The variance option that was referenced by this gentleman here would not be a possibility, but we can certainly look at.
Can I ask, what's your thoughts on the special exception? That I haven't read the fine detail of yet.
Hold on, we can't do that.
Can't do that?
No, sir.
No cross-examination?
Okay. But is that
That's what I'm
something
used
you
to.
will be willing to do?
Yes, certainly we can do that.
Is it okay from council? If it's okay, would you willing to withdraw it at this time?
Yes.
We're good? Everything's good with you guys? Yeah. No questions?
Can she just?
Yes, that's the church. Yes, sir.
So I guess my question would be, I guess for you and for planning, I guess, is so if they, in the past, we've not been able to find paths forward under our current zoning for these types of variances. I mean, that's generally true, right? Like you guys have already tried to interpret this as and find a way. So if they, assuming that they can't find a way,
You make an assumption now, let them
Well,
work, let them work.
so,
Let them work.
oh, for the conditional uses, you cannot apply.
You can't get a
any
variance to that
exceptions.
condition, because
Okay.
if you don't meet that condition, you don't get that use, it's not a you can't.
Chairman, I'd
change
like to
that
withdraw my
variance.
motion.
And I withdraw my second.
Yes, thank you. Yes, sir.
I like to say, first of all, I appreciate you guys coming out here and looking over just even what you all wrote. I don't know if Ms. Gathers or Mr. Gathers saw, but one of the things that the community said is that they appreciate the work you guys do and they love your ministry and they know you guys do a good job. So that's something that they said, and I appreciate just reading that. Now, how long was that ministry, has that ministry been there? 2010. You know, I appreciate, I think the community appreciates what you guys do, and I think their suggestions tonight just shows that as well.
Can I respectfully request to raise one point that I cut a little short? When,
You wore out all your time you got. You can call me at the house.
I'll just come over and sleep over there.
White seconds,
But thank you, Mr. Arsenal. Thank you. Thank you, community, for showing up and voicing your concerns. Ms. Gaddis, thank you also for willing to work and see what we can come out.
Yes, sir.
The next item is ordinance rezoning the property address as 1984 Forest Avenue, Charleston County, TMS number 46612000211 from R1 single family residence to multifamily residence, District Council, District 10.
Move for denial.
Second.
Motion is second. We don't have any questions from council? So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes. Ms. Mummy, there have you on this for other business, but on other business, I think those items comes to council, not to the committee. You have to have it on the committee to do discussion. But welcome to see you here.
I came to support Tammy. We went through the same thing with Northwoods Baptist, so she asked me to come for that. I had a chance to speak, otherwise I was going to.
She brought an army with her.
Is the denial and the withdrawal that you are no longer taking the property as a rezone? Because it's completely off the table and they will have to reapply for a zone change in the
Yes,
future.
we're coming
if that's the
back,
decision.
yeah.
Come back.
I just wanted to be clear on that. Thank you.
Any other questions for public safety?
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, I got,
oh, no, go ahead.
you want me to go ahead and adjourn, or you got?
No,
public
I
safety?
just had a quick comment, I guess, going back to the church. So would it be given what they're trying to do, and given that the previous church, we created a text amendment to allow, then is that something that maybe we want to task the planning department with potentially doing if they can't find, 'cause it sounds like we can't do a variance because it's a conditional use already. Is it something that maybe we wanna address with a text amendment so that they can do what they're trying to do? Is that something that the body's interested in?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I would say yes, cause I mean, obviously the community's not against the church expanding, you know, I mean, it comes down to 15 feet, right? Is that what we're really talking about? So I would say yes, yes, sir.
I mean, it's not my decision. I just work here.
Well, public safety meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the Finance Committee meeting to order for August 20th, 2026. The first item on the agenda is the minutes from the June 18th, 2026 Special Finance Committee meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Our next item on the agenda, and I'll give these folks a chance to get out, but we'll call our Finance Director, Mr. Jarrett, up. He's gonna give us a financial update.
Good evening, council. You guys have the normal presentations in front of you that we always look at. This is always a good time of year to look at this because we're starting to get a snapshot of what your end's gonna look like. Now, the numbers you have in front of you, we are still in the middle of closeout, so they're not final numbers. They could still be some fairly significant swings, but nothing that's gonna change it tremendously. And so as we go through it, we'll start with the graphs like we normally do. Pretty much good across the board, and these are, to the best of my knowledge, probably final numbers that we're looking at here. First one, local option sales tax, we finished at 107.2% of budget, which is about a little over $1.3 million favorable. And then, and that's big because all that goes to the general fund. Hospitality tax, we finished at about 111% of the budget, which was about a $1.25 million favorable over the budget. Local accommodations, we finished about $706,000 favorable. State accommodations is the only one that came in a little bit under it, but it was about $41,000 under what the budget was. And the business license finished strong and came in about $3.3 million ahead of budget. So that's just a look at kind of the major revenues, and based on what you're seeing there, you can probably tell it's gonna be a pretty decent year. And so we wanna move on to the next sheet and look at the budget versus actual. Now, this is the original, all this is compared to the original budget. Of course, we'll do a big budget at year end once we get everything settled out to accommodate for just any miscellaneous end of year adjustments, as well as you guys are aware, a lot of items that you pass throughout the year. It's got the little disclosure under the bottom of it that says this will require end of year adjustment. And so we'll bring the final amendment to that maybe at the next meeting. It may be the one right after that though. But just taking a look at it, we'll look at the revenues first. The revenues came in really strong compared to the original budget. The original budget was just under 173 million. We came in currently at about 189, almost 190 million. And again, this may change a little bit, and it was just across the board. It wasn't like there was any one item that came in. If you want to kind of break it down and look at it, taxes came in about $2.9 million over budget. The biggest one was business license and permits. Business license came in about 5 million ahead. But permitting was the one that was really shocking. We only budgeted 4 million, which has been historically about where we at, and it came in at almost 9, or maybe a little over 9. And it was, just had some really big permits this year that drove that. I don't know that that's a recurring, something we can count on every year, but it definitely helped this year. Looking at the state shared revenues, that's about 2 million ahead of budget. Most of that is that local option sales tax that we just looked at on the other sheet, as well as the hospitality taxes. And then looking at interest and rents, interest rates stayed up a little bit higher this year than I think a lot of people were expecting, so that helped on that. And we came in about 2.2 million ahead on the interest rate projection, which typically budget that one pretty conservative anyway because it can change very quickly. And then the last one that came in fairly well over budget. And this one is really one that can still change a little bit between now and year end as we were making adjustments. That's the other revenues. It's about 2 million over. A lot of that has to do with the tree bank funds and those funds coming in this year. On the expense side of things, I will say, it's pretty reasonable. I'll just talk about a couple of them. Probably the one that jumps out the most is fire. It's about $2.9 million over budget, but there's a couple of things that when you look at it compared to the budget that's here, again, this is the original budget. If you guys remember, we bought a fire truck this year. And so that expense is in there, but we haven't adjusted this to the budget yet. And then the other thing that happens is, as you know, we budget for the pay for performance in the 860, which is a special revenue account, which is about $2.3 million under budget right now. But when we do the pay for performance increases, it hits the individual departments. So as part of the year-end process, we reallocate some of those funds into the departments. And so for some of the departments that are over budget, that reallocation normally covers that. But I guess if we want to look at the bottom line right now, we're at a projected increase, a revenue over increases of about 18.6 million, which is a phenomenal year. With that being said, you guys have heard me talk about fund balance many times. That's something that has gotten much better over the last few years, and it's something that we want to continue to grow a little bit. At the same time, we want to be responsible, with the funds we receive. So this may be a year that come December, January, somewhere around there after we finalize everything, that we will probably get with the mayor and maybe start talking about maybe some one-time special projects that we could do with some of this. And so we'll get back to you. We're gonna finalize everything, because again, that $18 million number is not final in itself. And then the other thing that can affect it is when we start looking at doing some one-time expenditures, we really need to look at the unassigned fund balance. And that unassigned fund balance, even if we increase the fund balance by 18 million or 18.6, which was showing, the unassigned fund balance could increase for more or less than that, depending on what items of this has to be assigned. And so again, there's gonna be some movement in there, but all in all, I think we can safely say it's gonna be another really, really good year for us. Questions?
You gotta smile.
Well, I have a question, it's probably more for the legal department than it is for the finance department. But how do we go about, because this is year number 3 that we've had, positive results. How do we go about, putting in an ordinance to where it says X% goes into deferred maintenance, X% goes into capital expenditures, and the third expense goes into the general or unassigned fund?
You wanna do that
Council
before, I'm sorry?
Council raises.
No, that wasn't it, but.
No? Oh, I'm sorry. Mistake.
So that fortunately, for the last 3 years, we've been able to have an overage, right, which is great. We did put some year before last in deferred maintenance, I don't remember exactly what we did.
4 million?
So, but how do we, on a percentage basis?
You wanna do it in advance of receiving the funds or after the funds?
I wanna set an ordinance that from now until eternity, if we have X money left over, that this percentage goes into deferred maintenance, this percentage goes into.
We can draft that.
Okay. Which obviously wouldn't affect, this time, but hopefully we'll continue to have positive years, and then that way, everybody will know, and allow us as those funds build up, to do the deferred maintenance, to do.
And it'd be an automatic and not we'll think
Right.
about it.
Right, it would be a done deal, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, I agree with it 100%. I appreciate you thinking about it back in 24. Citizens, we never had a mechanism. When we built community centers, we built lakes, we built all these places. We didn't have a fund to be able to maintain those and maintenance those places. We were actually living off of our regular budget. So we created that in 24, I believe. But Councilman Kenneth Skipper talking about it. So now we're able to actually fortify all our senior buildings, all our parks and playgrounds, and all the amenities we have in our community. So I agree with it 100%.
I have a question, I just wanna make sure I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have $18.6 billion, $1 million surplus?
Somewhere in that neighborhood, it could adjust a little bit, but yes.
Okay. And right now, how much of that goes into the unassigned funds?
That's the number we don't know yet, because there's a lot of things that will affect that unassigned fund balance, and we just don't have all those numbers yet. We'll be getting clarity on that over the next probably 45 days.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you so much, Rob.
Thanks.
Saving money.
Will you find?
We give away money, nobody wanna clap on that.
Well, there's not many municipalities that have that luxury. If you look around and you watch the news, we're very, very fortunate, and that says a lot for our community and what's going on in our area, so be thankful for that, for sure. The next item on the agenda, item number 3, the CARTA budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 4, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with the North Charleston District.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Item number 5, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement between the city of North Charleston and the Charleston Animal Society regarding an animal services contract.
Move to deny.
Is there a second?
I withdraw my motion.
Move for approval.
Have a motion? Is there a second? Move it. Second. Is there any discussion? Yes, sir.
How much do we spend on the homeless in the city of North Charleston every month? I like that question.
Love that question.
Not enough.
Is it $175,000 a month? So we're gonna spend more every month. I love animals, and I adopted from Charleston Animal Society. You're telling me that animals in the city of North Charleston are worth more than the homeless people? And I would like to also note that the contract that we reference, that the county uses, the county no longer does business with Charleston Animal Society. So, you know, we accepted this a year ago under the premise that we were gonna look at the legal options we had. Because we had entered into a good faith agreement with them prior to most of folks on this council, where they had agreed to, in exchange for a tremendous amount of land that we gave them and support over a number of years, that they would care for the animals of the city of North Charleston for 25 years. And then in good faith, we removed that from the written contract so that they could get the financing to build the facility. And until last year, they had honored the terms of that agreement. And then all of a sudden, they go to Mount Pleasant and get money from them. They go to the county, get money from them. They're going to all these different municipalities and they're asking them for money and they get the money and then they say, oh, the last one on the list is North Charleston, and they come for us. And it's 175, right? Is it 125?
25.
125,000 a month.
1.5.
You know, that's a ton of money.
I have a question.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that the same amount that all municipalities pay, or is it it differs between?
What problem?
It's different.
It's different because we have the,
It's based on like the amount of animals that we send and the amount of animals that the other municipalities send. And so that's why he's referencing a contract with the county. It's a per animal basis for a lot of the municipalities, and we just get a lump sum because the majority of the animals come from Port Charleston.
yeah, okay, go ahead.
So without the specific amount, would they still be able to function, operate?
They're not gonna take North Charleston's animals.
No. And that's what can I say, Chairman? Yeah, that's the issue. I'm with Brandon, I'm with everybody. We've gotta find a better way. See, Charleston's doing the same thing, Mount Pleasant's doing the same thing. We got caught in a situation, and if we're taking 60% of the animals that's brought into the county area, we have no choice until Somerville gets that up and running in Berkeley County to the capacity. But the only problem is that is strategically in the middle of our city. And having our citizens to go so far to Dorchester County and the Berkeley County is kind of it puts them out of the way. So we have to find a way to actually either work with the counties, because I think, if I'm wrong, Chris, I think state law says the county supposed to supply.
It does provide the county takes care of animal services.
Yes, so.
And so just so we're clear, I don't wanna have a conversation about what our plan is to address that. Cause I don't think that's an open floor conversation. I will tell y'all that we are in conversations with other municipalities and county governments and trying to find a solution to this separate from, I believe, what your point is, how we are going to handle whether or not county is fulfilling its purpose.
So, question, and I agree with Councilman Hudson 100%. But at this point, we don't have any other choice, that's what I'm hearing, correct?
At this point,
that's correct.
We all agree, but we're just in a situation where we just have to do something.
Hold on, one second.
So basically, we're gonna go month to month until we.
Correct,
About-
this is a month to month
Okay,
contract. It can end the moment we reach an agreement with the other municipalities to resolve something.
Councilwoman Brown?
So the part where he said we had a clause inside the contract in regards to the property, when did that change?
That goes
Oh,
way
yeah.
back.
Oh,
That goes back, I think when
Way
Councilman Skipper
back.
got on the council. That goes way back.
Oh, well.
That goes back.
It really was an oversight when the contract was actually finalized. It was in the original contract.
Right.
When the contract got finalized, for whatever reason, that clause was
That
dropped.
one section was left out.
And it was left out because they were supposed to go through, I think it was 2040 maybe, I don't know what the year was, but anyway, legally, we got caught in a jam. So, so any other discussion? So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Item number 6, a resolution authorizing the city of North Charleston to accept a donation from Lowe's in the amount of $1,000.
Approval.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 7, a resolution authorizing the city of North Charleston to accept the Bureau of Justice Assistance fiscal year 2025 Justice Assistance Grant Local Formula.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 8, a resolution authorizing the city of North Charleston to accept the National Park Service River Trails and Conservation Assistance Program Technical Assistance.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Item number 9, a resolution certifying property located at 1929 Reynolds Avenue, TMS 469-120-0014, North Charleston in Charleston County, South Carolina as an abandoned building site pursuant to the South Carolina Abandoned Buildings Revitalization Act.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 10, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement between the Charleston County School District and the city of North Charleston for the School Resource Officer Program 2026-2027 through 2028-2029 school years.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion?
Discussion.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to recuse myself from this vote and then I'm an employee of Charleston County School District.
Well noted. Courtney, Ms. Courtney, you got that?
I
All
would
right.
have to do the same thing because I'm a Charleston County School graduate. No, I won't, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know this is number 10, we're coming back with 11, is that any different?
One is Charleston County and one is for Green Charter,
Okay,
for the charter school.
okay.
Any other, yes, sir.
So I guess, I think we talked about it a little bit, but I just can't remember, this is standard, like pretty much every municipality is doing this. And to go to 11, is it common for the charter schools to also, do we know, is that common? And I assume, they're like CCSD still, so I guess it's all just kind of a lumped
Still the
together.
same program.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Item number 11, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement between the South Carolina Charter School District and the city of North Charleston for the School Resource Officer Program 2026-2027 school year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 12, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement with Legends Global, New York, to provide pre-development advisory services for the renovation of the North Charleston Coliseum, Convention Center and Performing Arts Center in the amount of $180,125.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 13, approval for speed humps on SCDOT Road, Baker Avenue in District 10.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 14, request to approve the evaluation committee for the outsourcing of solid waste collection in Dorchester County.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second,
Dorchester.
any discussion? No do Bob, can't go
Alright.
down.
I was thinking the same.
Should I?
No,
Yeah,
no.
you would do that.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Item number 15, a request to approve the evaluation committee for the selection of architectural design team and program development for the renovation of the North Charleston Coliseum Convention Center and Performing Arts Center.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any other business to come before the finance committee?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, we were supposed to have our travel policy before we voted on the budget. We still have not seen our travel policy. When will we be seeing our travel policy?
So it's done. I will tell you that we got a few corrections from Rob last week. Staff just wanted to make sure we're fine. I will have a copy to you by Thursday.
So we'll have it before next budget, right?
I hope.
Anything else to come before the committee? Hearing nothing, this meeting is adjourned.
All right, call to order, I'm sorry, it's so hard, I'm sorry. City of North Charleston Committee of the Whole meeting, August 20, 2026. Ask that, minutes from June 18, 2026, Committee of the Whole meeting, we approve.
Second.
We got a motion in a second, any changes, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have one item, it's an ordinance amending section 4-21 of the zoning regulations of the City of North Charleston to revise the requirements for short-term rental permits. Nathan, we here? Okay, all right. The reason why I place this on the agenda, because Nathan and I visited the home in Deer Park that we had the short-term rental. When 17-year-old Antonio Stevens Jr. was gunned down in the home and another person was injured. What happens is, Chairman for the short-term rentals, myself, Brandon Hudson, we feel that when an incident occurs like that, any bodily injury, any type of situation that you have to have an EMS or any police activity, especially a homicide or near death, we need to act quickly. And we're looking at possibly working with the committee that we set up, the STRs. And the purpose of that is to establish a procedure for the collection, identification, and the dissemination of intelligence information regarding the criminal activity within the city that may adversely affect the city of North Charleston. Now, we had a guy that owned that home. He allowed somebody else to actually set up the STRs. And what we gathered from intelligence that this person who gathered those that had their place, she was actually renting it out to youth as often as she could. There were other incidents that's in the CAD that shows that we had to respond there several times. But when we have a homicide or a near death, what we normally do, we have a priority, right, Nathan? What are the priorities when somebody violates an STR?
In normal circumstances, we have a rate of 3 violations.
Yes.
That are documented.
Yeah.
And on the 4th one, whether it be minor or major, we basically move for revocation of the license.
Yes.
And in this case right here, we were fortunate enough to have a situation where the owner of the residence were renting it to a property manager who in turn submitted a lease agreement that the owner signed and allowed it to happen. And we basically were able to get the lease and find in the lease where the owner, unbeknownst in the end, said he didn't know he was doing it, but actually he agreed upon it. So in this case, he rented it, the property manager rented it to a young lady, 19-year-old. She in turn had a party. And we basically wrote her, we wrote the property manager, and we went after the owner. He was basically innocent in the whole thing because he had already authorized the leaser, the property manager, to utilize it as such.
So I'm asking with me and Brandon to get together and then we'll bring it before council. We need to have something that we can just in real time shut it down. We don't have to go to those steps at all. We don't have to go to step 1, step 2, step 3. We can just shut it down right then, take that person out of the whole network until we get an investigation proving that that person did use it illegally. Brandon, anything you wanna add to that?
No, I mean, I understand, you know, we just talked about it, prior to the meeting, but, you know, I'm a little concerned, I mean, we're gonna have to make sure that it's legal. And then, so I guess, wanna put something together, it's already on, so it'll go to planning commission and then it'll come before the body, is that for just like a regular ordinance?
Yeah, we'll get with the legal side of it, because it was a crime,
Sure,
Yeah.
understood,
And then that crime was associated with them doing it illegally in the first place.
sure.
Yeah, so that's why we want to kind of build it up, but be able to stop, you know, we don't have to go through this next steps. Just go ahead and shut it down and then go straight to the
Yeah.
STRT.
Yeah, I mean, I agree when you have situations like that, you know, just as some, I did Airbnb for a while, don't do it anymore, cause the permit fee was too expensive. But, it's a joke, it's fine. Just, I just wanna be cautious because, like, if I rented out my house and that was to happen there, I had no control over that.
Yeah.
And so I don't, but in this particular instance, it sounds like the person was renting the house as an Airbnb to be a party house, which is already prohibited in our ordinance, but, you know, we do wanna, you know, there's people that get stuck in an unfortunate situation, right? If a crime happens in my house and I don't have any part of that crime, I don't get kicked out of my house.
Exactly.
So, you know, I just wanna consider that when as we move forward with this. But I'm sure we'll
No,
work it out,
I'm with you.
we'll work it out, Mayor.
No, I'm with you. I mean, we don't try to
Yeah.
harm anybody that's
Yeah.
innocent. But how we have it all written up right now, if we had a device in there, we could actually, the investigation's going with Nathan, as well as the law enforcement side, and we can shut it down completely. So they just want the next day, cause if we had it the way it is, they can just open it up, go clean the blood up, clean the carpet, and open right back up the next day. So I it's not a death penalty, but it's almost to the point where, no, this is a crime scene, and how you did it was the result why that young man, Stevens, got killed.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and the, you know, the lawlessness of that mindset. And that's the reason why I feel that we need to sit down and adopt something and put that addendum in there, say that that occurred, this is gonna happen.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
question, it is unfortunate that someone's lost their life in that, the short-term rental. And there were others that were injured as well.
Yes.
That was unfortunate too, and I think it's ridiculous for someone to release something to a 19-year-old with the expectation of having a party. But I do believe that the owner of that property withdrew their name from the list of short-term rentals, correct?
Okay, so what happened is the owner stating that he didn't know what was going, that the property manager was renting as such. He put himself in a situation where they were facing that we were gonna pull the license. The property manager himself withdrew, so we didn't have to go through the fight of finding a number to stack it to 3 and 4. So with him surrendering which he had a right to do, the property manager, not the owner. They're having their own fight going on. We were good, it was good they were fighting because it was easy for us to take the revocation. But the property manager is the one that surrendered the license. The owner did.
Was it a short-term rental or Airbnb?
Short term, okay, Airbnb is a
brand.
it's a platform, it's a leasing platform. Short term rental is a classification that we use to basically all across the country, it's short term rental, but it is Airbnb, they're the same.
And in this situation, Councilwoman, Nathan, and I'm keep thinking about Major Nathan, he was a major, but anyway, what he did was he actually realized that this person, and we spoke to the neighbors as well, that's how we found out when we spoke with them, we checked the CAD system, found out there were other incidents. So he was careless in his use by allowing somebody without even checking and double checking. And another thing too, like the lady said, there was a young girl, 3-year-old girl, one of the rounds shot, it was right above her bed. And what they were saying is that this guy knew that his residence was being used in that manner. And that's the thing that really gets me, is like, if he was really not informed, I would say slow it down, because I don't want him to pay for something somebody else did. But when you are part of the problem, we have to hold you accountable.
you have knowledge, you become responsible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's what I want. I don't wanna harm any business. I just wanna make sure if you're going to use this as a way of making business, then you comply with not only civil law, but criminal law as well. Any other questions for the committee? This meeting is adjourned.